Just pulled up to the gym, time for back and biceps. Okay, I'm going to take you through this back and bicep workout. First exercise we started off with was a straight arm pull down with the rope. As you can see, I've got a slight bend in my knees, I've kicked my hips back, keeping my chest up and my back straight. I'm keeping my arms straight, pulling through the elbows. I like to start off my back workout with this exercise as it helps me get the lats warmed up and fired up before I move on to my main compound. Okay, so first compound exercise we moved on to is a weighted pull-up. So weighted pull-ups are one of the exercises that I'm trying to use to help bring up my back during this bulk. I feel like my back's a weak point for me, so I'm really trying to get stronger at this exercise. So when you look at this clip from the front, it may appear that I'm not really pulling myself up high enough. When I was doing the exercise, I did feel like I was pulling myself up enough. If you look at the reflection in the mirror and you can see from behind, it does actually look a little bit better. I don't know if it's the camera angle or whatever, but I don't know, I might try and lighten the load for the next workout and see if that makes any difference. Maybe I might be going a little bit too heavy on this one. Alright, next exercise I moved on to was a Pendlay Row. So it's very important to include horizontal motions into your workout, such as rows. Vertical movements like pull-ups and pull-downs is going to help increase the back width, while rowing motions is going to help improve back thickness. Alright, so with the Pendlay Row, I set up, I've got a slight bend in my knees, keeping my back flat, pull my shoulders back, pulling the slack out of the bar, and then exploding the bar up towards my chest/upper ab area. I'm making sure to keep my core engaged and my head down, not using any momentum to pull the weight up. So the setup for this exercise is quite similar to a deadlift. I keep my feet in the same stance that I would for a conventional deadlift. So the reason I choose this Pendlay Row over the traditional bent over standing barbell row is because it takes out any momentum out of the movement. It's a very difficult exercise to cheat on. So you can see after every single rep I'm resetting, pulling my shoulders back, making sure to pull the slack out of the bar. That's really going to help engage the back and get the lats fired up. Alright, next exercise I moved on to is a lat pull down. I decided to use the neutral grip attachment. I didn't want to use a wide grip because I'd already done some wide grip pull-ups, so I wanted to hit the back from a different angle. Alright, so in this exercise I'm making sure to keep my chest up, pulling down through the elbows, making sure to get a good stretch at the top, but not letting my shoulder disengage, keeping the tension on the lats once again. Okay, so when I start, I retract my scapula, rolling my shoulder blades back, pull myself in, keep everything nice and tight, and then start the exercise. So with the lat pull down, I like to go between 12 to 15 reps. So as you can see, I'm getting a comfortable 3 sets of 15 here. So what I'll do on the next workout is I'll increase the weight up, but I'll drop it down to 12 reps. Then hopefully get stronger at that weight with 12 reps. And then over time, start to increase the reps up until I'm able to hit 15 reps comfortably again. And that's how I'm aiming to progress. Alright, so as you can see here, I moved on to another rowing movement. So I've got a single arm dumbbell row. Okay, so what this is a unilateral movement. What that means is I'm working each side of my body individually. That's going to help eliminate any muscular imbalances. So as you can see, I've hooked one foot over the bottom of the bench, Got my other foot planted firmly on the ground. Keeping my back as flat as I can. Head down, core engaged, grabbing onto the bench. Pulling the dumbbell up towards my chest. Making sure I get a good stretch at the bottom, but once again, not letting the shoulder disengage, keeping that tension on the muscle. Getting a good squeeze at the top. So I really feel this in my abs as well during this exercise. That's just due to me keeping my core nice and tight. So I do 10 to 12 reps on each arm, resting for about 30 to 40 seconds before changing side. Alright, so just loading up the bar here for my next exercise. So here we got another heavy compound. We're moving on to a rack pull. Alright, the setup for this is very similar to a deadlift. So what I do is I keep close to the bar, keep my arms in tucked close to my body. It's going to help engage the lats. Grab the bar nice and firmly, pull my shoulders back, keep my head down and pull the weight up using my upper back and my lats. So once I've got the weight up, I squeeze at the top, squeeze my glutes, squeeze my upper back, squeeze my lats, then reset and repeat. So it's very easy to start using momentum and lifting the weight with your lower back, and that is the last thing you want to do. If you've never done this exercise before, I'd recommend starting off light, nailing the technique and then going heavier. So if you can get strong at these, it will have great carryover to your deadlift, as it is basically the top half of the movement. Alright, so I'm going to be honest with you here. I probably could have held the squeeze at the top of the movement for a fraction of a bit longer. So I'm just going to try and work on that next time I do this exercise. So once again, after every single rep, I'm resetting, pulling my shoulders back, engaging the lats. So I've done a total of 3 sets, aiming to fall somewhere in between the 8 to 10 rep range. Alright, next up I moved on to shrugs. So as you can see, I'm using wrist straps on this exercise. Only reason for this is simply I struggle to hold onto the bar when the weight is this heavy, especially when performing shrugs. I find that if I'm not using straps on this exercise, I spend most of the time worrying about gripping the bar and not letting it slip and not focusing on the contraction of the muscles which I'm trying to work. Just like the rack pulls, I've done 3 sets, 8 to 10 reps. So as you can see, I'm keeping my arms straight, pulling my shoulders up, squeezing at the top, getting a full stretch at the bottom. I like to think on trying to pull my shoulders up towards my ears. That's going to help hit and bring up my traps. Okay, final exercise that I moved on to is a standing alternating dumbbell bicep curl. So this is the only bicep exercise that I chose to do. Almost all of the other exercises before this do use a little bit of bicep, so I didn't want to overkill my arms. So as you can see, I'm keeping elbows tucked in close to my side, back straight. So I think about twisting my little finger outwards, alternating arms, again working each arm individually, getting a good squeeze and a good stretch, aiming for 10 to 12 reps. And that's the workout, guys. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give the video a like, I'd really appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next one.